how frightening my mother was when dead. So I'm going to refer to before at the animation company when she was known as Cheap Cheap. So what happened, beginning earlier was I used to be a mob boss that could control people. When she was trying to have a normal conversation, I'm like, wow, that poker face lasted long. And then what I did was back it up where it's supposed to, because my main character in my manga is called Goodbye Budioto. So what I had her imitate the Golem Jr. saga in the movie Fortress of the Gothic Vampires. And the anime is called Nods, and it's a whole conspiracy theory because it's based off by Junior High. Obviously copping off the nose, the energy drink. Couldn't have been the next Naruto if it wasn't for the fact that I met the real Vegeta, Christopher R. Sabat, in real life. In the movie, when she was listening side by side, I trapped her in a concept of 2 versus 8 when my character was moving in and out. Her character was catching me in lava, Lily catching me in ketchup, destroying discreet ass statements. My character was just trying to do good. Let me tell you, the hood, it was the exact opposite. When the cops came at me, was giving her the R, giving her the Ryan, and her enclosed the biggest street statement while I'm the one who held on to society. It gets way worse. I mean, it was way worse because they put me in a situation when everything was an excuse for trying to be in a world of dead people at work. I automatically had Gabaya that was in times 2, who was similar to Origami Ryoto, to balance out at 29. Now what happened with the 2 versus 8 was they had to fuse with another character, which is obviously Chinata. Literally, it was so worse. Literally, at point for one, I have Dellas specifically for my anime. Literally, custom designs that weren't there unless I made a video. Every single day with no Lily police permission and no contact from NASA. My wife was there every day sucking me up. I thought it was gonna be a good story because I had 3 things that back it up. I voiced acted multiple characters, and Tyler Perry is a big thing in my family, as Uncle Sonny. Unfortunately, he's deceased. Now let's go on to the video. Who was Frieza? She was, and Mince Frieza. My character had, Frieza attributes. First off, the main character of Gabaya wears sleeves. I know sleeves are things as domestic violence. It means you went up against the white boy in junior high who stole the girl with the purple hair. What that is, the domestic violence that you haven't heard on my channel, is that's a gaslight, because what he did was he took her, like a rock star, right? And so what you did was you actually wore sleeves. Because you're a human, you can't instantly absorb, and JC is a big thing in domestic violence. You even repeat on radio, no matter how much you thought you want, literally, let's see this guy with sleeves, literally. Plain jeans with cumbersome feet go up against this guy with shaggy hair. Drawings looks like a rock star. He makes me ask Uncle Larry, when it comes to sleeves, I disqualify you. Now this is the thing, brace yourself because this is her level. See this whole purple thing, Lily, that's how hard she is. And the whole meaning is that she doesn't match my tree. So what I explained was, that's Honoro de Barrio. The Barrio is that matching somebody's tree. Telling somebody to be advanced, forcing common sense, but, telling them to play sports. And you know what that does in the hood? That condenses you, and that drags on, running so DVZ, Lily, they say, oh, you see all these colors going around? These sports colors, you get a girl with purple hair. Vario also uses the XYZ, Lily, with a blur, Lily, and they put up against you, Lily, and because you aim for society, which is a noble thing, I fell into a trap, Lily. You said this, Lily, trapped you with purple hair, and we destroyed your XYZ. And because we're human, there are only stalls and remains. That's why I figured out what happened, Lily. She was, actually, an archetype, and that's called a hippo. The same thing as Servant's mom, Servant Jones, Lily, the pastor I was at, Lily, his mom was the same way. She told him everything, with detail, and she told me everything in one line, in repost every single day. To our sorry, now what I did was when I explained to Alpha Omega that when you have living condition, you have to treat with delicacy and care. I can't tell him everything in one line or else his world was gonna crumble. What I did was I showed him what subconscious is. So literally what I started to do was I started to say, hey, that guy complaining about pussy every single day, why don't you call him a bitch out of nowhere? Why don't you stop literally pretend that what he's doing is amazing and call out the whole frequency? And what they do is they do, but they do it at the wrong time after aligning with his shit. But because literally, because he had people like Sonny, because he had people like Ramon, literally what ended up happening was it was actually a megalodon. So it was the Vario to fool Ontario to get to a megalodon, and Ontario's competition, which is what I am. I started off, the group home would explain the freshman year, with Jennifer, saying I wore purple, literally I had curly hair, and I was the best at this competition. Now what happens when they're automatically violent is that they can delay competition in order to get what they want. Let's get to the main point of the video. Main point is because I knew all that, literally in the beginning I chose a black and white character called Asger again. He's from Dr. Stone, and he's a mentalist. So what ends up happening is it was the ultimate halfway. In fact, I got a dream, Lily, of getting last night playing basketball that he couldn't be beaten. Guess what happened when I had the whole 29? They called out my reverse and I made playing Joker. It was the biggest collaboration of all time. And after her rap was ended, literally after, you know, the city was exposed as an oxymoron where it came from the dog, they had to sell the dog biscuits versus the absolute wet shit you get no normal dog eats. She said, don't game, you know, the South definitely getting the West up. It looked crazy when first slip on, you know, the little mermaid literally 1,000 trillion times of her ass beating. You know, Game ended up on a joke on Thizzle, which is the hip-hop company he used to work for, and they're talking about big money back then. They're talking about trillions of dollars, literally throwing stacks literally in an internet chat called Skype through a webcam. There was so much on Game, and they were so full of shit when they were talking about throwing money underground to the point where they can't become a victim of domestic violence because they know too much about the government. This is real shit. This is really real shit. You see all that guy, literally, that was throwing cards, that's James. Literally, James is a part of the barrio. Literally, that's the loophole. Literally, there are loopholes to domestic violence. You see like he's a bird, you know, by himself. James is the one who originally wears teal and you beat him in the movie theater. Our original way to beat him after Temptation, I said, pop that pussy like bubblegum. Literally, put it on TV and explain why I'm the next creator of Naruto. I got murked, I got completely murked, because what happened literally was when I went hard, really, it wasn't about my ambition. My ambition for all society when it comes to, you know, skills, you know, Rockstar Skills was a girl, I grabbed that family, by the way. When it came to everything, society I was trapped in was the one that forged autism. It was a whole Devario society. What Devario is he's a warp, literally. He's somebody, literally, that's a made-up person that's made out of skin that makes a blood statement. You lose to him in school because you contemplate your decision. You don't get a single hit on him, and he's weaker because you didn't want to get suspended. And guess what I figured out? That if you gotta do shit like that, be street all the way. Don't be street, literally, you fall back on a dirt. It's true, it's completely true. Like, literally, I get, you know, shit, literally, like, oh, literally, I put my hand back, literally, I did one shake or another. Literally, I'll say, hey, I'll give you point after point, literally, and I'll get the ultimate He-Man. Literally, like, what? That's a ripoff. Again, that's Devario. He's like, that's not Devario, it's regular dog, because it's Devario, it was bad on something street that we can call out. See, also had Jason, a guy that came over, you know, from the Bahamas. I was able to match Jason literally, and you know what happened was Jason borrowed my iPod for work, and he told me that the music literally on the MP3 player was really cool. On my channel, literally, I'm talking about, you know, people like Isaiah literally used to clown me in high school while playing bands called, you know, Dance Gap Dance. I recognized recently that they get destroyed by gangs like Zebrahead, but I also know a lot about music, you know, in general, that, you know, music that a nerd listens to is better than what a gangster listens to because it's more open. Nobody listens. Like earlier this morning, I was talking about, you know, 3, you know, anime soccer players that I was using when my mom was still fucking me up called Chigiri, Isagi, and Rio. And guess what happens when I go to Vegas? I look at the Rio tempo. I dropped my bomb bounce for being athletic a long time ago. The reason why this is fucked up is because this gameplay represents why, literally, we thought that she was just one level, but she was actually as hard as Maria's mom. Now, I made the hit single Goth Perp, you know, a couple years ago, you know, back when I was 27. I've been hanging out with James in the movies every single day lately. I was bigger than James, I was killing James, and I couldn't stand it. I recognized I was before, and I recognized I was a temptation, and still continued. That what happened when I got dead? What happened on that plane? I got dead. I recognized one thing, literally, that I'm in a situation that stands still. Literally, that robot collects. It forwards to something instead of people doubling pine, you know, being in Korean, even though how much doubling pine they do in my head. So guess what I get to say? I get to say, you trapped me in point after point, literally, you called out that I wasn't responsible before. I kept manipulating me for the 100th time, Lily. Now I'm caught, Lily. Saw me do good behavior, Lily. Drove past me and said hi. So I've been watching Slide People for over 3 years now, because my original plan was, you know, make the beats or wait for producers. What ended up happening was I started signing on a lot that was mature, that was on, you know, the level of cause and effect. That's what came to Slide 4, I did all this research, literally, that, literally, there are gases, literally, in a video game that if you're, not playing off the stats with that, if you actually do it, that's good. Like, when they try frequency, guess what happens with effect? Because the difference between fact and frequency that I explained early. Because fact is doing something amazing, and frequency is calling out the whole thing. To the point that in Slide 4, literally, Penelope and Bentley were fighting with fucking robots. Let's get on to the person I looked up to, the mentor in my family, you know, Sonny, aka Uncle Cremo. It came from learning a lesson about life, really. I was always afraid to get in trouble, so guess what ended up happening? I used to have a girl that, yes, literally, I used to dance around a lot. She was about, you know, lesson in life about being physically strong, because what I would do was I would do, well, I would normally do on Facebook, you know, ask them if they have a big butt and shit. Or got out to her school, but the way I came over her was this, like, hey, you want to eat some hot Cheetos? Hey, this and that. I was charming. Listen to hip-hop. If you know a gang, what I do is I explain a gang at Alpha and Mega that a gang moves around a lot, literally. It's never forward, literally. It moves their feet. What I would do is 1/5, literally, with somebody literally lifts up their foot and ends on her curl. And what that does is that allows you to get inside a girl's brain, you know, without being physically fit. And it makes you insane because the whole point of the series, Mother's family, to break down the real versus a fantasy they get from struggling in life. What happened was I was the best reality show, pump this guy named Alberta around. I didn't get re-guessing now that I'm physically strong. I had the best anime of all time. I'm moving around like a comic book character. He was the strongest one and he was running gag. Daenerys was the strongest in the universe. And guess what ended up happening? Lily, I learned this thing about food instability, broke with Sonny because he was a security guard. I listened to a song, called Genuine. We talked about Lily wanting to make love to this girl. Lily, when one leg comes up, I started crumbling again. It came from cause and effect. It came from actually, getting in trouble with fisting, which is not happening now. See, I'm trying to get away from there and I have a little bit of gangster knowledge. Commit myself to the streets completely. Ready to get food, we were all this and that. And I thought, Lily, when you stop in your head, the cops actually help you. I'm double implying with double, the consequence when I'm at, a more critical age called 30. What's even worse about that is I did a documentary of, the letter R, Ryan. Why it's illegal, I started after Ryan to transfer planet. The complaint show girls that rejected me versus the United States intensity was as strong as Vin Diesel. I was relying, on the thing for Cousin Platinum. When I was growing up, I would say she in the movie theater, like when she took me to see, Beauty and the Beast, and that guy Lee was a car house. I'm like, you monkey, you fucking monkey. And so what I did was, when I got older, I turned into a stage straight now. When I got physically strong, Lily was a big revelation. What I did was I became the ultimate guy who was straight. I ended up around, so I started, putting my cosplay collection, how many characters, that I cosplayed as. Trying to put on both karate 2 versus 8 in the monkey and stage play. Nothing fucking worked, Lily, and they trapped me in retardation. Lily, I'm like, you can't trap me in retardation in the R forever. So in the hood, I was all like, you just giving me a football field, and then we got the backpack. How do we get to this whole fucking ancillary get thing? To dancing with girls. To waking up and watching backpack, I told them they're falling for their trap again.